This weekend, Disney made a slew of announcements about major changes coming to their parks and resorts and even the cruise line worldwide. But today, we are going to park hop to all 4 Walt Disney World parks to talk about the changes coming to Walt Disney World specifically and Walt Disney World only. Some are big, some are small, some are very far off, some are sooner than we expected, some we kind of anticipated, some are total surprises. But we're going to talk about them all. We have some opinions, some analysis, and don't worry, we won't be doing singing and dancing numbers between the announcements. Maybe. And we're starting out our park hopping day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, where we finally have information about some of the big changes that are happening here. It's also really blustery. Earlier it was pouring rain and it's like rumbling thunder, so it's cool. Let's get started. All right, this one's a quick one because it was announced quite a while ago that It's Tough to Be a Bug would be leaving, replaced by a Zootopia attraction, but they finally gave us some details in that Zootopia Better Zoogether will be replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug. It'll be a similar type of 3D show and it'll be coming in winter 2025. Now, we've known for a while that Dino Land USA was on the chopping block, and some things were sort of announced as blue sky ideas, but now we've got some concrete info for you. Donald's Dino Bash will be ending soon. I can't believe it's really happening. Tropical Americas will be the new land in this area, opening in 2027, and they have said that construction will begin this fall. So they've said that construction will start in the fall, but that'll take place in phases, right? Josh D'Amaro said that way more people will have a chance to ride Dinosaur for the last time.
Are you ready to ride Dinosaur for the last time?
Yes, many times. As many times as we can.
I feel like I've said goodbye to Dinosaur so many times that now they've actually said it's actually going and I will have to say goodbye.
Yeah.
It feels a bit weird.
But like, now we know.
We know.
This is confirmed. It's happening. I can't believe it.
3 new attractions in here.
Yeah, let's talk about them. Goodbye to the Boneyard. Now, I think we'll be able to come out a few more times. You see all that lightning? And say goodbye to all this and document it all in detail. Since, you know, we live here in Central Florida, we'll be able to do that. But today we're gonna focus on the details of what is coming. Let's talk about the 3 new attractions. Sam's looking at the concept art. What do we got here?
So Restaurantosaurus will still be here as a new restaurant.
Okay, I like that.
Obviously with the new land. And then on the left-hand side, you will have a brand new carousel.
Let's walk over and take a look. So it looks like from the concept art, the carousel will be either like around here where the Boneyard is, or maybe over here by Triceratops Spin, like somewhere in this area. But yeah, a new carousel with wooden carousel animals, and it looks beautiful from what they've shown us so far. So that's like a family-friendly attraction, very nice, but there's a lot more. Oh, and they also said that the carousel will feature Disney animals. There'll be a big fountain where villagers like to tell stories and a wood carver who creates the animals. And they said it's gonna be very family-friendly and, you know, kids and people of all ages will love it. So that sounds really nice, very classic. A carousel is a nice addition to any park. It's something that everybody loves. It's cute and family-friendly and very Disney. And it looks like the casita will maybe be over here where Primeval Whirl used to be, like back here. So they said this will be an 11-acre section of the park. It says it's gonna feel lived in like Harambe, so it's gonna have that Animal Kingdom feel. It looks like these buildings will still be here, just re-themed, because you can see in the concept art those same like rooftops and the same shape of the buildings. So that's interesting, and it definitely looks like the casita will be kind of over in this area. Very cool. They said the space will be lush and sprawling. This will be the first ever Encanto themed ride-through attraction featuring the Madrigal family, and will be there on the day that Antonio has received his special gift, the ability to communicate with animals. His room will transform into a rainforest and we'll get to explore alongside him. And this concept art looks so beautiful, like a gorgeous dark ride, beautiful colors, lush environment. Very exciting. And they said, yeah, construction is set to begin in fall. So Dino Land USA is so weird. It's themed sort of like a weird carnival, and then also like sort of a roadside attraction. There's a whole backstory here, and it doesn't always come through, but once you see it, You know, it's like kind of like Route 66 style. Roadside attractions, world's largest pin truck. We're erupting with gifts. So we've got the Diggs County signs here where fossils are a way of life. US 498 here. So when they say that they'll be doing this in phases, they could very easily start working on all this part out here and keep the dinosaur ride open. And hopefully they'll be letting us know, like in dates and phases, like dinosaurs closing within this many months or whatever. It seems like they could keep it open for quite a while because we still have a couple years before this is all scheduled to open. But let's talk about the next thing because it's pretty big. And now it's definitely going to be in the past. Wow, can you imagine walking down this and at the end is a temple, an ancient Mayan temple? Because that's what's coming. So when this attraction first opened, it was called Countdown to Extinction, and then they re-themed it for the movie Dinosaur, which probably hardly anyone has ever seen, and you wouldn't even know it was about a movie, you know what I mean?
I saw Dinosaur at the cinema when it came out.
You see those lightnings?
I did.
Wow.
Dinosaur was like one of the first CGI fully movies that I ever saw.
Ah.
The CGI did not hold up.
It does not look good now.
Some say that about the ride.
Ooh, I personally love this ride. I think it's so fun. I love dinosaurs. We both do. Me and Sam love like dinosaurs and prehistoric stuff, and it's like rough and tumble and fun. But we also love Indiana Jones, and that is what's coming here. It's been rumored for so long. It's been blue skied for so long. And now it's really happening.
This ride weirdly gives me a lot of nostalgia because this ride was very like if you when you go on it, it's memorable.
Yes, it's very memorable.
But it's conflicting because Indiana Jones also gives me a lot of nostalgia.
True.
Because I grew up watching those movies.
Yeah.
I watched those movies a lot more than Dinosaur the movie. I will say that.
Yeah, definitely Indiana Jones films are like
And we will always have the Jurassic Jungle boat ride when we go to Pigeon Forge.
That's right, we will. Now, you can hear that it is so crowded here. There's tons of people. It's so interesting. I wonder if it's because of the announcement or just a coincidence. It's not usually this crowded back here, but anyway. So yes, it is now confirmed that an Indiana Jones ride will be replacing the dinosaur ride here at Walt Disney World. So we know there is an Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland with the same kind of ride system as Dinosaur. It's a very similar type of a thing and feel, but a completely different thing. But our Indiana Jones ride that we are getting, they have said, will be a completely unique story, a different story to the Disneyland version. It will involve a Mayan temple with, let's have Sam tell us some more. What do we got?
So they've said that the story of the new one here is that Indiana has discovered a preserved Mayan temple, and he's heard there's a mythical creature inside, and he's got to go in there and have a look, hasn't he?
He's got to have a look. He's got to have a look.
He's got to do his exploring, and they also said there may or may not be snakes.
There will definitely be snakes, and we get to join along the adventure, and I think that's so cool because the ancient Mayan temple, and it adds into the tropical America theme, and they're going to add in the animals. That's how they're going to tie that in. You know, it's interesting because you think Animal Kingdom, everything here has like some sort of animal story, but you know, they're trying.
It'd be funny if that mythical creature is like some kind of dinosaur.
Yeti. Ooh.
Or Yeti.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We both had a thought.
Yeah. That's pretty much all of the stuff coming here.
Yeah.
So it's now time to transition to the next segment.
Okay.
Which of course requires a musical number.
Moving right along. Footloose and fancy free. I got dinosaurs and Indiana Jones with me.
Nothing but the best here.
It really does not match the ominous music that's playing right now.
Nothing but the best entertainment.
Nothing but the best here, folks. Obviously, there'll also be new restaurants and shops and a lot more. And it's really going to change the feel of this side of the park. Dinoland USA is this weird mix of like a science exhibit and a roadside attraction.
One thing I think that's not going to survive is the Restaurantosaurus cheeseburger. But it does make the exciting question of what nice themed food are we going to get?
Yes, what like tropical America's rainforest themed food are we going to get? That, ooh, I'm very excited for that. So one more thing, they said that construction starts this fall. It's currently August, so we can expect some kind of construction to start hopefully within the next couple months, and I'll definitely keep my eye on that. Now let's move along. made it to park number 2, Hollywood Studios, where one of the announcements was a pretty big surprise. So let's go talk about it. I'm actually not sure where in the park to go to start this, right?
I think we'll just go to every possible location.
Okay, let's go.
I'll lead the way.
Okay. You did used to work at this park, didn't you?
I did.
All right. Lead the way then. We're just gonna pop into Animation Courtyard. No reason. No reason. Lot of space in here. Very spacious. What do you think, Sam?
I think this is the most likely.
Well, we haven't even said what it is
And
yet.
I'll tell you why.
Hollywood Studios is getting a Monsters Inc. land, and we're going to tell you all the details about it because there's really, really interesting details about the attractions. But first, the one thing they did not tell us is where it's going to go. And like our first guest was here, Animation Courtyard, right? But then we thought, well, they just announced a brand new Little Mermaid show coming right here. Why would they add a new show if they were going to demolish or change this area? But then we thought,
From here, you can see in the very background, Rock and Roller Coasters
that
show
big building way back there.
So behind this launch bay is basically offices, the old animation building, and a car park. So if they take this back, Animation Courtyard may be a nice transition into a Monsters Inc. land.
It really could.
That is my number one thing.
Yeah.
But not only that, on the left here is obviously Sunset Boulevard, and on the right over here is Toy Story Land.
Yes.
So they could connect it all together, and that would be the best part for me.
I think so. I think that would be the best possible option.
Yeah.
So like, it wouldn't just be up here, which already here there's a ton of space. This goes far back and it could all be connected.
That would be my choice.
I would love that too. This was definitely both of our first guests, and the more we thought about it, we thought, no, but yes, but no, but yes. We don't know, but I think, Launch Bay is cool. We love it. It's a great place to rest and get AC, but we already have Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Back in the day, this used to be where you boarded the backlot tour and you did the tour of the animation building back when they made movies here, like Lilo and Stitch. Obviously, that's no longer a thing.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of space and potential back there, and the potential to connect it through to other areas. Stand here, you can really see the distance to Rock and Roller Coaster.
It's far. There's a lot
far.
more space back there than it appears, than even just this square courtyard.
It is very fun to speculate, but this isn't the only option.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to tell you the details about the attractions and stuff because we're talking roller coaster here. And you know, if we're talking roller coaster, we have some things to say.
I got some things to say.
but first, let's look at some other possible options for where this Monsters Inc. land could go.
But I hope it's here.
Me too. We both vote for here.
We vote for here.
Difficult to see. Always in motion is the future.
Indy's going to be in 2 parks soon. So a show, and soon he's going to have his ride.
Now we do think this is probably the least likely area, but just to cover our bases, there is space back here. There are always rumors about Rock and Roller Coaster being replaced or Aerosmith being switched out or things like that. And there is space back here, but it does seem like it would take the most amount of work and money for when they have other spaces around the park that would work better with less effort, right?
And they could even add it on next to the Cars thing if they wanted.
Right.
But it seems kind of like another dead end.
Yes.
You know?
Right. Right. Oh, did you see that lightning? I don't think I caught it, but there was a crazy one across the sky. But yeah, just to cover our bases, it could be back here, but we don't think so. Let's go look at other couple possible areas. Let's talk about what we can expect and some interesting info. All right, we're now in this Pixar area, just sort of a corridor here, but...
So this used to be the entrance to Toy Story Mania. About 20 years ago, the other soundstage here, there was rumors and even concept art that it was going to be a Monsters Inc. door ride. It never happened, but it was really heavily rumored for years.
But now that we have the announcement that Monsters Inc. Land is coming to Hollywood Studios with construction beginning in 2025, Disney has announced that the door coaster is happening. It will be the first suspended coaster in a Disney park. And it actually has some interesting elements. We looked very closely at the model, the photos, the concept art, And
for roller coasters, Disney often use a manufacturer called Vekoma. So recently they've done Tron, they've done Guardians of the Galaxy, but even as far back as doing Everest, they use Vekoma to make the roller coasters. And if you look at the concept art for this new coaster, the train very much looks like a Vekoma suspended family coaster.
it really does.
So it's likely they're probably going to use Vekoma again.
Another Vekoma suspended coaster that we've ridden pretty frequently and pretty recently is over in Dollywood. It's called Dragonflyer, and it's very fun and comfortable and cute, but it's very short. So hopefully if we do get something similar to that, obviously it'll be longer, but
what's actually really exciting is that in the movie, the doors, they get taken by a claw and taken up into the air. And from the model that they've shown at D23, it looks like they said that we're going to experience that. So it looks like you're going to board the train, and then the train is going to rise up before heading into the door factory. And like, that sounds amazing. And the thing with Dragonflyer and other suspended Vekomas is that often they only run one train. I'm pretty sure Dragonflyer only has one train.
yeah, I think so.
But this looks like it's going to be a dual station setup, so they could run potentially 4, maybe even 5 trains. So hopefully that will help like with the capacity.
I do too.
It's kind of crazy that like a 20-year-old concept for this park is actually coming 20 years later, or over 20 years later.
Oh yeah, so we're very excited, and there were 2 roller coasters announced coming to Disney World. We'll talk about the other one later on, but very cool that we're getting new coasters at Disney World.
And also one thing I can definitely tell you, it's not going to be in air. This also was part of the backlog tour, weirdly. But this soundstage over here was the first 2 tracks of Toy Story Midway Mania when it opened. And then they expanded it. So this one, originally the rumor was it was going to be the door coaster.
Right.
But then they ended up expanding Toy Story Mania by adding another track. So if you go into the queue of Toy Story Mania, now on the other side, one of the queues takes you through like a long walkway, and it takes you into the 3rd track.
Ah.
But that could have been one day that door coaster. Obviously not the same.
But there is one more area that
Maybe.
we hope it won't be, but the concept art, let's just go take a look.
Let's go take a look.
Now the only reason we're even thinking about this area is because of something we saw in the concept art. But they just built this new snack thing. This ice cold hydraulics snack stand, like they just built this. Why would they do that if they were gonna tear it straight down, right? Okay, so Grand Park here, Muppets Courtyard, whatever you want to call it. We love the Muppets, and we do not want the Muppets to go. And this is kind of the last vestige of Muppets in the Walt Disney World Park. If anything, I'd like to see more Muppets, not less Muppets. Muppet Vision 3D is such a cool show. It could definitely be updated, but like looking at the concept art.
There is one thing on that concept art that makes me concerned. And that is this
water tower.
here.
Yeah, the top of
And
Rizzo's
this.
over there.
And this.
Yeah. So if you take a look, it really looks like this area back here. I mean, they look reminiscent of this area, but not exactly. And they could recreate this look in this park. So I don't know. We don't want it to go back here, but again, just to cover our bases and show possible areas where there's a lot of space. Because going back here,
If it goes back here, they could put it back here.
yeah, look at how much space is back here. And there's even more going back to Mama Melrose's. Look at all, I smell Mama Melrose, it smells so good. There's a lot of space back here. I really think that Animation Courtyard is the best, most realistic option so far. Kermit says, Kermit the Frog here, and I say, do not mess with my area. Since they're not starting construction until next year, I bet we'll see little signs of it in the park
I think so too.
as we get closer. They'll close something off.
Once they announce launch place closing, that's it. We know.
So there's one more thing coming to Hollywood Studios, and then we still have 2 more parks to go. So let's get a move on. Moving right along.
Alright, it's time for the next part. And Jackie's next musical number. You ready? Do you know? I knew. And that's very fitting. That's very fitting. Right over here, there used to be a Singing in the Rain statue. Anyway.
I stabbed myself in the face with my umbrella, but the show must go on. And finally here at Hollywood Studios, we're getting a little update here in a galaxy far, far away. I love the soundscape in Galaxy's Edge. And the final update here in Hollywood Studios is that Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run on both coasts here in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge are getting a new addition to the attraction that has to do with the new film coming out, Mandalorian and Grogu.
They didn't really say whether this is going to be like add-on to the current adventure, a different adventure.
Right.
But they said that they're going to make this in Unreal Engine, which is what they use to make video games.
Right.
I feel like if they added this, they would have to change the pre-show, unless they changed like something.
They like add it into the story.
Yeah.
I think they could add it into the story, but maybe they'll add it in the pre-show too.
I kind of hope this becomes like a Star Tours thing.
Yes.
Where
there's different like scenes you can get.
Options.
Yeah.
It could vary a bit. Make it more re-rideable.
Yeah. I think that's cool. All right, that's awesome. So yeah, they're using like the technology from video games, right?
Because it is basically a video game.
Yeah, the same technology they used to film the show, they said. Interesting. All right, so that's it for here at Hollywood Studios. Let's go to the next park. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. We have arrived at EPCOT, where we only got 2 little updates here. So recently Disney said that EPCOT's transformation was complete, but that's not quite the case, because we got at least a couple of updates and changes coming here. So let's talk about them. So in the past, Spaceship Earth was sponsored by Siemens, and it used to say it up here, and it doesn't anymore. But a lot of rides had sponsors back in the day, and some still do. And there used to be lounges, like there was a Siemens lounge here on the other side of this building. But one of the new Disney announcements was that this will be a brand new lounge, Spaceship Earth themed, and it's gonna look out over the new Celebration Gardens. So see those windows? That should be where it's gonna be. This was previously the Siemens lounge, and they're gonna transform it. We do have some concept art for that. So this is one of 2 new lounges scheduled to open in 2025 at Walt Disney World. I'm very excited to sit up there, look through those giant paneled windows out over World Celebration Gardens and World Showcase Lagoon, like far off in the distance, you know. That's gonna be cool. Let's say hi to Walt. There was an announcement about a new Walt Disney animatronic over at Disneyland, which is also very interesting, but we're gonna focus on Walt Disney World today. But you always have to wonder, what would Walt think about any of these things? And you have to hope, this is the dreamer statue, that at least some of this would be part of his dream. He did always want to expand and grow, and you know, I think this is going to be a beautiful view at night though, and it's a small update, but it's something. Also in 2025 at EPCOT, the brand new reimagined test track will be opening, and look at this. They've already removed the canopy, they've got some Chevy cars out in the front, so it'll still be sponsored by Chevrolet. They've given us a little more info, but they pretty much told us it'd be like heavily inspired by World of Motion, you know, the original attraction that was here, and you're gonna have like a family-friendly ride in the outdoors. And
so Test Track will celebrate today's invention while highlighting the past, present and future. The queue will feature 6 distinct exhibits, and within each room celebrate the vehicles and people behind the vehicles that push the envelope and help get people to our next chapter in our motion journey.
Well, there you go. There's a lot going on out here with the construction. So it'll be a similar type of ride, just like reimagined, revamped.
I'm excited, and they did
too.
emphasize that construction has already started.
Yeah, as we can see. And I don't know if this comes out on camera, but we can see here, if you look in there, it used to say test track there, kind of like on the wall behind the construction wall. You can see the imprint, and they have removed that. So there we go with EPCOT. And of course, the update we've all been waiting for, never mind. Forget we ever mentioned that. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing going on back here. There's definitely no play, and there's no pavilion. Shh, no questions at this time.
It's time for the musical interlude.
Well, we hope for more for EPCOT, but it looks like that's it as far as now for announcements and things like that. But we have saved the mother lobe for last. We're gonna hop on the monorail. So you poor unfortunate souls are about to be fed. All right, we have saved the biggest and best for last. Let's talk about what's coming to Magic Kingdom and all the details. It's not Halloween, it's not Halloween. Ah, Mickey Pumpkin! And Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party has already begun, and we went on Friday night. If you want to see that, check out my video. We had a blast. We did something different too. The park looks beautiful, but we are here for a purpose, which we're gonna stick to, you cute pumpkins. First things first, Magic Kingdom is getting a nighttime parade coming summer 2025. So like not that far off, in about a year. It's been a long time since we've had a nighttime parade here. Who else misses the Main Street Electrical Parade? I know I do. So yeah, very excited. And the concept art looks beautiful.
I still miss Spectrum Magic.
So yeah, it says that this is going to be all brought to life by the Blue Fairy from Pinocchio. We're going to have Encanto, Frozen, what else? Peter Pan, and more.
And
so
they seem to be emphasizing the technology of this one.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I mean, if our apartment's anything to go by, they can do some impressive lighting. Because, you know, those kind of hue lights.
It's got the hue lights. It's going to be very exciting to have a nighttime parade back, especially in the summer. I think that's a great time to kick it off. It is still a ways off, but nearer than the next two updates, which are the biggest, I think, and the ones that both of our jaws dropped over, right?
Yes.
Both of the announcements at Magic Kingdom were like,
I guess we should head back there.
let's head back there. Look at the golden hues. It's the golden hour. Beautiful. Now, recently I was here talking about the new Pirates of the Caribbean bar that is scheduled, or lounge that is scheduled to open at Magic Kingdom, which is now being called a tavern or a lounge. And we have gotten the announcement that the tavern themed to Pirates of the Caribbean will open in 2025, so next year. We don't have much besides that or where it will be, but it does indicate that it'll be family friendly and that pirates of all ages will be welcome. There'll be new artwork, and there will be grogs and grub. At first we thought it'd go into here, maybe in the former Tortuga Tavern, but for now they've rethemed this to Tortuga Treasures and added a little gift shop in here, the Pirates gift shop, because there's a ton of construction going on here. So potentially it could go somewhere in here, because right now they're guiding you across the way for a trove full of loot. We've got like a pirate's map here. We can guess maybe it's going back here because there's construction walls all around. Very excited for that. We love pirates. That theme is amazing. And, you know, it's going to be really fun. So as soon as that opens, hopefully I'll be out here to show it to you as well. That's next year. The concept art for this looks so cool, but it does look small. And I just hope that there's enough seating for people because I feel like this is going to be very popular. It also looks like it's going to be enclosed, so it kind of doesn't look like what's going on in here. I'm not really sure where that's going to go, but hopefully we'll find out soon. But they're definitely doing something in here. Interesting. It kind of looks like a Trader Sam's type of a vibe, which would be amazing, but smaller. So hopefully there's more space than what they're showing there because it looks small. Look at that sky. Now let's get to the good stuff. There are two more big reveals that are just, one of them we like kind of knew about, but it's finally confirmed. And one I feel like was a pretty good surprise. We're getting Cars Land at Walt Disney World, but not just that. We're getting Cars Land at Magic Kingdom in Frontierland. Now, when Sam and I first heard this, we both were a bit taken aback because Cars Land, Frontier, it doesn't go. But I mean, Disney has made it pretty clear that the Frontierland theme is completely changed. They're completely revamping it. It's done for, the Frontier means something different now. So they're kind of like loosey-goosey stretching the bounds and the meaning of what the Frontier is. And they have described the new Cars Land as leaving Radiator Springs to head into the Frontier. So, all right, if you're wondering like, okay, how are there automobiles in the Frontier? Have some imagination. This is Magic Kingdom. Everything's magical. But one thing we both noticed is that in the concept art, you can see this peak of Big Thunder Mountain in the background. So this is like behind, right? So it looks like what's in front of me? The rivers of America, right? Tom Sawyer Island. Our speculation is that that is where it may go. So you think it'll be like here?
So that is this direction. So I think it will be here. You know what's right here?
So here we are looking at, you know, Tom Sawyer Island off in the distance, the rivers of America, the Liberty Bell riverboat off in the yonder is Haunted Mansion, which they better not touch. No touching Haunted Mansion. So we've got Lightning McQueen, Tow Mater racing into Magic Kingdom, inspired by the Pixar Animation Studios film Cars, coming to the reimagined section of Frontierland at Magic Kingdom. So they're calling it reimagined. The American West has always been about keeping your eyes on the horizon, believing in yourself, carving your own path, and striving towards success. That goes for miners in the mountains, bears from the country, a princess from the bayou, or a race car from the big city. I definitely will miss Liberty Bell because if it goes, we're just speculating here. We're just spitballing ideas. We don't know. But from the concept art and the descriptions and the land that's available, this seems like the logical thing, right? That it would be in Tom Sawyer's Island and that somehow they need to connect this land. All right, so we've got a big update today. The day after we filmed this video, because we filmed this on August 11th and today is August 12th, Disney released new concept art that confirms that our speculation was correct. From this new concept art, it looks like the rivers of America will be no more. It looks gone. You can see the riverboat building there, and then behind it, this brand new Cars Land, which looks like snowy mountain peaks and Big Thunder Mountain off in the distance. And Disney has said, ahead of work, revving into high gear next year, guests will have plenty of time to experience the charm and nostalgia of Frontierland as it is today. Because once this change happens, it will be a very different area. Now, this concept art and announcement also talks about the thing we're going to talk about next, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, let's just take a moment to breathe this in, because this is a really, really big change for Magic Kingdom, and I'm so curious what you all think of it, because I can't even process this. Kind of unthinkable to think of the rivers of America being just completely gone like this, but this confirms it. Next thing they announced had us both, we both screamed, right?
Yeah.
I went like, ah, and you were like, oh,
Something
ah.
like everyone's been wanting for so long. And also this, they didn't say where this is going.
Right.
But they have talked about beyond Big Thunder Mountain before, so that's the logical thing.
Yes, and that is...
The concept art for this, before you even say
Okay.
looks crazy.
It looks insane.
And that is...
We are getting, finally, the long talked about, long wished for, diabolical Villains Land. It's really happening.
It's really happening.
This isn't blue sky, this is dark night sky. It's kind of like perfect time to talk about it.
It is spooky.
Spooky. We're getting a Villains Land. Let's talk about the details here. The concept art, again, looks insane. Lit up at night.
If you look at this concept art, there are roller coasters in here. And if you look at the back left, you can clearly see what looks like some kind of crazy roller coaster. This is Disney. But if you also look in the middle of the concept art at the bottom,
I see a crow.
There is a roller coaster train in the middle. It kind of looks like it's underwater. Like, I don't know what is happening here.
Are we getting an underwater coaster?
But the concept art, just look at it.
What is that? I will
that is a coaster train.
Yeah,
right
like
there.
Over the water or under the
So
water?
is this two coasters? Is this one coaster
that all connected?
is insane looking? I don't know.
It looks, look at this
There
castle
is
back here.
A spooky looking castle.
Rocks everywhere. What's this over here? The people walking in. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, creepy trees? Once upon a nightmare, a place where poison apples are aplenty and magic potions can ruin your whole day. For all those things hiding in the shadows, it's time to join them as we lift the veil on a forthcoming Villains Land at Magic Kingdom Park. It's gonna have your favorite villains, it says, the villains we know and loathe. I love that.
And it says Walt Disney classic film villains.
I love that. So like the Evil Queen, Maleficent maybe, and they're all the villains are cool. Like Disney villains are so cool. The evil ambition of all these villains means that the possibilities are endless for the stories that can be told.
Space will be home to two major attractions: dine-in and shopping on a grand
incredibly
scale.
Twisted grand scale.
Be prepared, your poor unfortunate souls. Scar, Ursula.
Love that. A fearless new vision for what a Disney experience can be. Oh. All right, so that's it. That's all we've got.
We don't know where it's going, but
we don't know when.
I get like goosebumps. Like
we think back here, right? Like there's so much land back here. So let's say they like put Cars Land over here, and then like over here there's Haunted Mansion. Like back here, there's so much space beyond Thunder Mountain, as they say. There's a ton of space where it could go, and it would look amazing, don't you think? All right, jumping in with another update here from August 12th, the day after filming this video. The concept art and announcement that Disney has released also confirms that cruising just around the bend, guests will be able to venture beyond Big Thunder Mountain into an all-new land dedicated to Disney villains. And we don't see Villains Land in the new concept art, but we already had the concept art for Villains Land, but now we know for sure it will be going beyond Big Thunder. I do hate losing green space, like nature, because there is wildlife that lives in this nature.
There's a lot more back there.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully they like mitigate by preserving other areas and stuff like that, and keeping some peaceful parts. But I mean, Villains Land is coming! It's been talked about for so long!
Do you know in the next few years we're getting not only Monsters Land at Epic Universe, a Villains Land at Disney?
Right.
Like what, that roller coaster? Who could be a villain roller coaster ride? I don't know, there's so many possibilities.
Gosh, with the water in there, Ursula, like...
Ursula roller coaster? That would be cool.
That would be so cool.
They could make the trains look like, what are those two?
Like Flotsam and Jetsam,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, Ursula,
Yeah.
yes, Ursula.
Go through like a
Like
cavern.
you're going to like tell her.
This is pure make it wish.
Now we're
make-believe.
just talking
Yeah.
nonsense. Let's keep walking. Love to hear that. Are they still going to be playing Ghost Riders in the Sky back here, you think?
I don't know, maybe. 'Cause I feel like they play like 60s cars versions.
Looking here at Tiana's Bayou Adventure, just an example of the gorgeous lighting that they can do at night. Just imagine a Villains Land all lit up at night. And also, maybe we will get Dr. Facilier after all now. He doesn't really make sense in this story, but in Villains Land he does. It's so beautiful though. Oh, that wind feels nice, doesn't it? Are we still gonna hear Home on the Range when we're walking through Frontierland? Seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. There's your musical number. Town Hall 1867. It'd be so nice if they kept this area though, because it's so peaceful and beautiful, and when you see the fireworks reflecting in the water, it's really magical. And we'll see what happens. Of course, now that we do have some of these concrete details, it's amazing, but there's still so much to speculate and guess on and be excited for and wait for, final details on. But we sure have a lot more than we had before to be excited for. It's definitely an exciting time to be a theme park fan in Florida, in the USA, and in the world. But I definitely am curious to hear what you all think of all of this. There's so much in there. Fireworks. The heartbeat of EPCOT. Musical number. Wow. Hey, 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 hey. Well, EPCOT is beautiful at night. Wow. That was such a fun day, right?
That was so fun. I get so excited about seeing places where new stuff is coming.
And it's been a while since you've park hopped to all 4 parks.
It's
like
been
that,
a little
right?
while. It's been a little while.
This morning when we decided to do this, we knew we wanted to actually come out to the parks and spend the day park hopping and stand in the spots where either they said something was going to be or where we think like it makes sense where it might be. Stand there and visualize it.
Yeah, and it's so hard when you're so used to seeing how it is now.
Yeah.
But it's also so exciting when you picture this stuff is actually coming.
It's hard to believe. And some of it is really far off. Like some of it is 5 years, 7 years off in the future. A few things are really soon.
It sounds like 2027 is going to be a fun year.
Big year for the theme parks. Yeah, and we have big things coming from all the parks here. Like obviously we have Epic Universe from Universal coming next year, which we are beyond excited about. And now we finally have some more concrete big things coming from Disney to be excited about too.
And it's interesting, like some of the same people who work on those attractions, like regardless of the park, Universal, Disney, even regional parks, a lot of them like work in the same
like overlap.
Yeah,
there's overlapping in the creative community of like Imagineers and creatives that work in the different theme parks. Like you said about the Spider-Man ride.
Yeah, like Scott Trowbridge, who 25 years ago made the Spider-Man ride and the Hulk at Universal, is now working on Spider-Man and Marvel rides for Disney. Like, because we've been doing this and made our YouTube channels, we've been very lucky that we've got to meet and chat to some of these people who are making these attractions.
Like legends,
Like there are real people who are extremely passionate about bringing this stuff to the park and making the best stuff that they possibly can, and that we all get to enjoy. And
yeah, it's just so important to remember that like there's people behind these projects and so much of that community overlaps with each other, and people working at Universal and Disney could have worked at both over the years. So like even though people like to compare and it is fun and the creative competition I'm sure fuels both parks, I think in all we're just really lucky to have it all. You know?
Like, those people are just as excited for these attractions as we are to ride them.
Yeah.
And I think we are in for a very exciting time as theme park fans here in Orlando for, I mean, the next 5+ years.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, yesterday was my birthday, and so many people said happy birthday to me, and I very much appreciate it. Jackie obviously treated me like the prince
that you are.
That I am, according to her.
And yeah, thank you guys for wishing Sam happy birthday.
It was very nice to read the comments. And so many
super
people
nice.
said it.
Y'all are like amazing, But we are so curious to hear what you all think of all of this. Like, what are you most excited for? What do you think it's actually going to be like? Can't wait to hear from all of you. Thank you for hanging out with us for a fun day of park hopping. Besides just the updates and stuff, we had fun just like hanging out. It's fun to park hop.
It is fun to park.
By the end of the day, you have got a lot of steps in.
We've got a lot of steps.
Yeah. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Let us know what you think of everything. We're both sending you a ton of love. See you for the next video. And until then, as always, stay enthused. Bye!